Thanks for joining. So today I am doing a quick live stream just talking about some fundamental techniques for sketching. I want to talk a little bit about tools. If you're still kind of new to sketching and want to learn the traditional techniques that are used by animators and illustrators to sketch really quickly, I actually recommend starting off with a really thick pencil or a piece of charcoal. Can you read my handwriting? Actually, I learned recently that they don't teach handwriting anymore, so you guys probably can't even read this. Here, I'll print it. Charcoal. And the reason why it's good to start with something thick is if you're using something like a mechanical pencil where it's like really thin, what ends up happening is you get too focused on the details. And when we're doing a sketch, it's not about doing like detail work, it's more about getting the rough impression of what you're trying to convey. Another thing to know is use your shoulder. I can usually tell when looking at an artist's work whether they are drawing like this or they're drawing like this. This is what we want to go for. Like, go for the shoulder. The shoulder. And the reason for this is really using your wrist is really only ideal when you're doing detail work. And again, detail comes way later. We want to just get the whole impression of what's going on in our sketch, and the detail work comes way later. All right, so we're going to talk about gesture. What is gesture? Let me show you a quick example, actually. So if I was drawing, like let's say I was drawing a person sitting down and, kneeling their head, resting their head on their hand like this, or their fist. Okay, so how I might start off drawing something like that is this is all I've done so far. I've done one line. And I've just kind of captured what is the spine, the back of the spine doing, and what are the legs doing. That's really all I've captured there. That's that like first line. They call this the line of action. It's that one, if you were to summarize this position in one line, what would it be? That's called the line of action. And the line of action is pretty important in gesture drawing. And now I'll go ahead and start to fill in this gesture a little bit more. So now I've got a head and I've got two arms. It's kind of hard to know in detail what this is, but it gives you a rough indication that, okay, there's a hand here roughly, there's an arm here, and like so. And we've got our legs and feet. So that's basically the basic foundation of gesture drawing. You're trying to keep it loose. You'll notice I'm not drawing eyeballs in there, I'm not drawing mustaches. So what is gesture? So gesture, we are doing the line of action. We're also trying to avoid stiffness. We're trying to keep it loose. You don't want stiff. Stiff's bad, because then it doesn't feel alive. So when we do something that's more like this, it feels a little bit more alive. Whereas if we were to start off going with little hatch marks, little tiny scratchy lines around the edges, it'll start to look really stiff. It's also used to kind of do a lay-in, where you're just trying to get a rough idea of where things are as like a first pass. You're also trying to get a sense of where the weight is. So if we go back to our example, we can see that the weight is here. Like this person's hunched over and they're putting their weight on their arm, and that weight is also here. It's also on the butt here because they're sitting in a chair. Don't forget, we're going to use our shoulder. So today's prompt for the sketching challenge is memory. If anyone has a memory that they would like to share in the chat, I will attempt to draw it. So if anyone has requests, please share your lovely memories in my chat. Flying sidekicks in taekwondo. Okay. Spinning on, oh geez. Okay, I will attempt this. You're making it complicated on purpose. Okay, so the request is flying sidekicks in taekwondo spinning on tire swings. Oh, that's two ideas? No. That's one idea. We're going to do them all together. And actually it does help if you don't have reference. It does help to just take a moment to act it out and think, okay, I'm gonna do this for my head. I'm gonna try. Okay, so I'm thinking this through. I'm thinking I have my fists up here toward my face. I'm protecting my face. And a lot of people will start with the head first and then put in that line of action. So we'll just do this basic circle here for where the head is. Got my head. I got my line of action there. Okay. Got this foot up here. Got this foot here. Very, very rough. Okay, so you kind of got the sense the head is here, the two fists are here, there's a leg here kicking, and a foot here, and then another one that's here. Actually, the foot would probably be more like this. Now we got to add that spinning on tire swings. Okay, so maybe in this hand, he's not just, this person's not just, maybe it's not a guy. I'm making an assumption here. Maybe it's a girl. Let's not assume the male gender here. Let's say this is a girl. Okay, this is a girl, female, flying sidekick in taekwondo, spinning on a tire swing. Okay, so let's now like do another pass at it and like refine it a little bit. But I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna add a cape because it's okay. Creative license. Erase. All right, so now we gotta refine it. So in the interest of time, I have sped up the footage here into a time lapse, and I'll just talk you through some of what's going on here. So I'm going in and doing a new layer and adding more detail or more refinement of the pose as I go. And this technique of using layers obviously is common in digital illustration, but you can also achieve this with traditional media as well. So for example, you can use tracing paper to add another layer, in a manner of speaking, on top of your sketch to do more refinement. And I've actually done this in the past. I've seen other professional illustrators do it as well. Or you can just simply, you know, start with a really light pencil and then add or be more dark with your lines as you go. You'll also see here I'm refining the pose more. I'm making it more three-dimensional. I'm making it a little more dynamic. I'm, for example, changing the foot so that it's coming toward the viewer as if to kick us in the face. I also struggled a little bit with the cape. Normally, if I was working on a professional illustration, I'd take the time here to look for some reference photos to more accurately capture how a cape would flow, for example. One other thing to note here is that you'll also observe that I'm using some basic shapes to help add more dimension to this drawing, and that's a topic that I'm going to cover in more detail in the next video. So be sure to join my newsletter so that you get an email notification when that video is up. So there you have it. A flying sidekick in taekwondo spinning on tire swings. If you enjoyed this video, please join my newsletter because I have more sketching tips coming, as well as a video series on color. And if you'd like to join me live when I'm doing one of these, do follow me on Twitch. My Twitch handle is BogusRed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.